All right, so this is day one of just a breakdown of what I'm gonna be doing with my Ducati Scrambler. Gonna work through mostly the Desmo service, but just breaking down some of the other bits and pieces that are entailed with either like a 7,500 mile service or a 15,000 mile service. I'll be breaking down, what is required at each interval. But yeah, starting today using the Haynes Ducati Scrambler manual as well as the Ducati Desmo Times maintenance manual. Both of these will kind of just be my guide as well as other videos on YouTube. And yeah, this will kind of be the start. Recording everything to be able to put online, but also just for my own knowledge to remember how to put everything back together. So yeah, hope you enjoy. This will be the start of a long series. So we're working in a pretty small space here in the garage. Not too much room to work with, but we will make do and adjust if needed. Just before doing anything, of course, it's just smart to get your bike up on a lift or up off the air to some degree, so there's no risk of it falling over and everything's a bit more balanced. I've definitely got probably a little overkill here, more than I need, but I have the rear on a fork stand, and the Scrambler is tricky because there really isn't anything to grab onto here. So I got these, I guess, just kind of like L joints that I turned upside down and put underneath the swing arm right here on the frame. So that'll do the trick as long as nothing gets bumped really severely. I put a little rod through the front axle. There's not too much pressure on it or anything. It's pretty loose. It's just in case for stability on the front wheel. And then a little bit of a jack stand, kind of just supporting the middle. There's not too much weight or pressure on this at all. It's just enough to where the wood won't move to take some of the pressure off the rear wheel. And that's pretty much it. It's pretty level. This is where we'll be starting. And yeah, gonna start working on taking off the battery, the air filter, and the exhaust today. Those will be the first couple things. So the Desmo Times booklet manual has you start with the cam belts and then move on to the valve adjustment and everything from there. We'll do that, but the Haynes manual first, when you start to get into the valve clearance check, we'll have you just begin by taking the air filter off and then the breather chamber and then the exhaust and the battery and such. So we're gonna get all those things out of the way and then start working on the belts like the Desmo Times manual suggests. Okay, so we're starting with the air filter first. In order to do that, we're gonna get these front covers out of the way and yeah, just kind of take off some of these plastic guards here on both sides. This piece here, once this right front cover, once it's unscrewed in the 3 spots, it kind of just slides out of the evap canister like that. There's these 2 pieces that just slide in to this side piece right here and right there. So you just slide that off, and then this evap canister, I think I might just zip tie so it's not completely hanging free. So we'll just do that real quick. Now we're going to be removing this air rectifier from the housing. It's just 2 screws with the same number 4 Allen key. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. We're going to take this last bolt out of the left side cover. This is the oil cooler, so technically it's the oil cooler. We'll take this out and then just zip tie this up to here so that it's not hanging down. Okay, next we're going to be removing this air filter housing cover. There's 2 screws on the very bottom here and then 4 on the sides like this one. So just going to go and remove all 4 and then remove this housing completely. All right, we removed all, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws on the air filter housing. We're gonna go ahead and replace this before we pop it back in. Or we actually might keep it out just so it's out of the way while we're doing some other things. But I did lose one of the screws, so I have to go in there and look, try to find it, and then we'll move on. All right, so what we're gonna do next is just take a look at how everything was fitted here. There's O-ring is going to be replaced, and then we'll be replacing the air filter itself with this Ducati or DU8015 filter from K&N, and yeah, we'll show how that goes in. One thing I did notice here in the new K&N filter, it came with the rubber gasket housing here, and although this one fit very flush at the edge like that, the K&N one is fine on this side clearance wise, but it does hang a bit over here, so we'll see how it fits when we put it back together, but we may trim that a little short just so it doesn't go you know, kind of in line with the edge of the cover housing, because I could stop it from getting a good seal. Next is just to remove the battery, so I'm gonna take it out right from there. So first we're just gonna remove this cover. This is just a little band that kind of holds the plastic cover down. I'm just gonna unscrew this, disconnect the negative charge first, then the positive, and then pull the battery out. Just so I remember how everything went together, the cover that I pulled off had that one screw here that I'm going to keep there. This is the white connector that went to the USB charger. I just put some tape on that to protect it. This small, obviously, ground, or this wire here, goes on the outside of the holder. And I'll get a quick clip of the positive before I take that off. Positive is a little more hidden here, but it seems like a similar scenario where there's two connectors. Looks like this, let's see, this black wire here is in front, followed by this red wire here, and then the housing itself to the battery. Same was the case for these. I think this one was first, and then this one, and then the housing. Okay, battery's out. I'll definitely just vacuum in there, get some of those rocks out, clean it up a little bit. So all the terminals are here. Everything's just kind of hanging, which is fine for now. And we'll move on to the next step. All right, next we're gonna remove, just to get it out of the way, the starter relay right here. You can see one of the heads, it's hard to tell, is right there. So we just need to access that. So we're gonna start by just taking this plastic relay out here. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna get two hands on that. Take this out as well as the relay itself. We'll get that out of the way. All right, so to remove that starter relay, there's these two brackets here that it just slides on. So there's two rubber paths that would just kind of slide back into those two pieces of metal here in this bracket. So I pushed it off, put some tape on it to protect everything, just kind of moved everything out of the way, and there we go, access to the head. Just to create a little more room, the Haynes manual recommended Removing the fuse box bracket and just sliding it off. It slides up and down on these rubber pathways here, as well as the starter relay. Just move that bracket, and now you can kind of just push everything out of the way. So it just creates a little more room here. All right, next we're gonna remove the spark plugs. This is so that when we have to turn the engine for the cam belts, as well as just doing the shims, it'll be a lot easier. So we're gonna remove this plastic cover and unscrew the old spark plugs, and I have some new ones to replace them with. Normally your toolkit will have the spark plug tool. I don't have the toolkit, so I'm just using an 18 millimeter. But yeah, that's one there. And then the other one right there. So we'll do those two, get those out real quick. After pulling the first one out, I just kind of stuffed a clean rag in there just to make sure no other dirt or oil or anything gets into the combustion chamber. Just try your best not to get any dirt inside of that hole. And we'll analyze the spark plugs later, but they look pretty decent. There's a lot of things you can look at just to tell how the engine's running. So we'll do like a deep dive on that later, but yeah, they don't look scary, which is good. All right, that's it for day one. Tomorrow we will get into everything that we missed.